dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice. You better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll those dice.
Howdy, Rob. Happy day 4 of Wizardsmith.
Happy 4th day of Wizardsmith to you, Matt, and to our listeners. This is Dungeon Master of None.
I'm Dungeon Master Matt.
And I'm Dungeon Master Rob.
Yeah, the 4th day, the traditional gift is subclasses. So I'm going to give you
right.
the gift of
and
subclasses
we've
for today.
Brought you 4 subclasses in a pear tree. Sorry, that's
Each.
the second day, whatever.
Each.
Yeah. Matt, in a previous episode, I said that, we didn't know which coast Wizards of the Coast was, but I think it's obvious now. And I'm kind of like, oh, wait, hang on.
Clang,
It's
clang.
the West Coast.
It's the Sword Coast.
It's the Sword Coast, but the Sword Coast is the West Coast.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that we are being told exactly what to think of that. You've got Luskan and Neverwinter and Waterdeep, and I clearly Wizards has decided, where the good cities and the bad cities, the West Coast are. I guess like San
Right.
Francisco would be
No.
or something like that.
No. I think I've got it. Like, Neverwinter is Vancouver.
Yeah.
Waterdeep is Seattle, which makes the scum and villainy of Baldur's Gate San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, Luskan is like Anchorage or Fairbanks.
That's right. Yeah, Luskan is even further. And then
the Dale Lands is the area around Toronto where Ed Greenwood grew up.
Evermeet is Hawaii. I actually think this is workable. Yeah. So what have we got with the today? Where we're talking about Forgotten Realms, Heroes of Faerun.
Yeah. No, so this is there's kind of a 2 fairly meaty books published together. One, Adventures in Faerun, and the other, Heroes of Faerun. Today we're talking about the smaller player-focused one. I guess I could just describe it as it's an introduction to the Forgotten Realms plus one small chapter of character options.
Yeah. I mean, this is a campaign book, a gazetteer of sorts.
Sort of not. That's the next one.
Of sorts. I mean, compared to some other things, it has many aspects of a gazetteer. You're right, though, that the other book is the actual gazetteer. But there's descriptions of gods and regions and all sorts of stuff, factions to help you make decisions about building a character. Truthfully, this is a thing that is much needed. It answers a lot of questions. If your players are sitting down and not familiar with Forgotten Realm, they're like, what are the gods? Where do people come from? And yeah, it also comes with a lot of character options, subclasses, feats, spells.
Right. So in my opinion, it's been a long time since we've had a good Forgotten Realms book. Like since not 3.5, since 3E. The 3E, book was pretty good. And this one, and I did not like the Sword Coast Adventures Guide. It's got character options, but then it's also like really in-depth, like DM-focused stuff on just one part of your typical Faerun stuff. This, I think, is really nice. It's not so long. It's 192 pages. And it, like Rob says, describes kind of everything that both a game master and a player might want to know. Let's jump into the constituent parts. Rob, the introduction is great. It not only tells you, hey, this is a brief introduction to a thing that's existed forever, but you could play a video game or read a novel if you want to know more.
Yeah. I did like that they finally seemed to acknowledge that novels and video games and the movie Honor Among Thieves exist. For some reason, they were weirdly not doing that. So this acknowledges that oh, hey, you've played Baldur's Gate 3 and maybe seen a movie, and that's cool. You like Drizzt Do'Urden because you read a novel. That's great. You're in the right place. Weird that they didn't seem to embrace that in the past, but yeah. Correct in its understanding of who's going to play this game.
Chalk up another point in that this is a great introduction to people who just want to get into the Forgotten Realms because they heard it was cool and that they have no idea how. And then the second chapter is
I
character
have one
options.
very minor
Oh,
gripe
yeah.
about chapter 1, and it's a familiar one, but this is just a problem with Forgotten Realms. Why I don't love the setting, but it's like, hey, you want to create an epic hero. This is a game for epic hero. Here's a bunch of other heroes that are more epic than you that you could be like that are already in the setting. But yeah, go ahead and make an epic hero.
Nope, you'll never be as cool as Drist, Duerden, or even his wife.
Or daughter. Yeah.
Or daughter. Okay, character options. So this one is just has some details about like what it's like to be a dwarf or an elf in the Forgotten Realms, and then it's on to 8 new subclasses for D&D 5th edition. Our first new subclasses of the new, not old edition.
Newish. I mean, we've
Newish.
seen versions of some of
Yes.
these before, but
Yeah.
yes, eight new subclasses. They've some of them are better than others. Some of them are newer than others, but they are technically new. They are rewritten, introduced for 2024 edition.
All right, Rob, I'm going to read through them. You tell me good, bad, or meh, or some other word. Ready?
Good, bad. We'll do good, bad, or ugly.
Okay. Ready? College of the Moon.
Good.
Knowledge Domain.
Good.
Banneret Fighter.
Ugly. Maybe bad. Maybe both.
Yeah. Oath of the Noble Genie's Paladin.
Bad. I don't like this one.
Winter Walker Ranger.
Good. I like this one.
You
don't like
not
it?
for me. No, I'll tell you why in a second. Scion of the Three Rogue.
This one's complicated. I wish I could give like a one-word answer. I like the like flavor and mechanics of it. It's just like you're playing a devotee of the Dead 3, and that's complicated. But I think it's.
I'll put your one word down as messy. Spellfire
messy.
Sorcerer.
Good.
Blade Singer.
Good.
Rob can barely. Okay, cool. Yeah. Which of these do we are worth talking about?
Good with an asterisk. Sorry, let's start with the Blade Singer because it's last. The only reason why I hesitated is because we already had a Blade Singer and they just redid it. This is better than the old Blade Singer, so I don't know. It's a cool elf class, but it's not just for elves anymore. So the Blade Singer's good.
Yeah, no, the big change is you can use your intelligence for attack rolls with weapon, which like all the time, which makes it actually a class you would want to take. So yeah.
I'm gonna be boring and say like knowledge domain is maybe the best.
Oh no, it's only when Blade Song is active. Sorry, gotta correct myself before someone gets in.
Someone gets mad. I like knowledge domain the best of all of these. It's just more utility for the cleric. I like all of the gods of knowledge. This would be fun to play. This is interesting. It's not too powerful. It's just more choices. Love the knowledge domain.
Yeah, after reading through the like gods, I'm like, yeah, there are enough gods that fit this. I could be a literacy cleric. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about one that I thought was a complete failure. I love the idea of the banneret. It's a rework of the Purple Dragon Knight. It's just there mechanically it is so weak. 10th level has a sort of strong ability, but it's still really weak.
It's so bad. And there are some really strong fighter subclasses. So like I'm not like against some subclasses being weaker but having more utility. That can be cool, but like this is so weak. Why would you ever take this over Eldritch Knight or any other like fighter subclass? It's so bad.
It's like main thing. The thing you'll be using for most of your adventuring career is the thing you get at level 3, group recovery. When you use your second wind, which I believe is just like once per short rest, you heal your allies a D4 plus fighter level, and it's only a number of allies equal to your charisma modifier, which is probably not going to be higher than a 1 or a 2. I mean, if you took the Battle Master fighter and the rally ability, you could do this and 3 other things.
I'm pretty sure one of the new feats does this too, and maybe
Yeah.
even better. This is very weak.
I guess they're like, hey, this is non-magical healing. We better make it really shitty.
Can't have. Ugh, God, don't even get me started.
All right, what
The
was
long
another one you
claw
wanted
of
to talk?
Mike Merles is reaching into the
He's
2020.
gone, Rob. This is
I know,
this,
but
this book is by
his
lead designer Jason Tondro.
I know, but his design philosophy lives on.
Yeah. All right. What about what's another interesting one that you want to spend some time with?
I did like the Scion of the Three. They can like teleport to, attack a bloodied enemy. They have some cantrips and can terrify people. It's very thematic. I liked the idea of the Scion of the Three. Also, just coming off of playing Baldur's Gate 3s are still fresh in my mind, so it seems cool. I'm for it. I like this one.
Yeah. I think if you combine this with like the Spellfire one with the boons and epic boons, that if you wanted to run our idea of chosen in the Forgotten Realms road movie trip, you could, which
Yeah.
I think is fun. One of the problems with like Spellfire and being like a chosen of the gods or something like that is like these are things that normally have just like plot significance. And I think they've done just a sort of a like a fine job being like, well, here's some minor mechanical benefits that'll not make you the most powerful character. And then the DM can kind of throw in those crazy plot things.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to hit on from the character options? There's basically a background for every faction and every region. This is great if you want to build a Forgotten Realms character.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new feats that I like, especially the origin feats, which are tied to either factions or something in the setting. They're cool to me because they're kind of teamwork oriented. They either allow you to share or use inspirations or modify your help action somewhat. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of half feats that are pretty cool that add some options. They seem like they add a lot of utility, but not a ton of like power creep. These are fun feats.
I will mention, I didn't think any of the subclasses in this are incredibly powerful. So I guess if you're one of those people who is worried about power creep in the new edition, they seem to have really tuned down most of the subclasses. Maybe College of the Moon for bards is like a little powerful, but like it's not. I mean, yeah, I was
I don't
blown
think
away.
these are anywhere
I
near-
didn't read any of these and go like, oh, holy shit, this is like clearly the best subclass.
Yeah, I don't think this is anywhere near as powerful as some of the other things that they have put out. This is not a major example of power creep.
All right. So that's only chapter 1. Chapters 2 through 3, and I guess a little bit of 5 and 6 are kind of like beginner's guide to Faerun, which honestly I really appreciated just as like a refresher. I got a lot out of it, and the actual details about the regions are super detailed. It's like 1 or 2 pages about a lot of different places.
I did appreciate this information exists, but a nice calendar with special like feast days, a list of types of currency and in different regions. Again, basic stuff that the information exists and has existed, but it's nice to have it all in one place. And yeah, then a map of the regions and details on each of them, which was
Now,
we do know this, but it's really nice to have
yeah.
in one place.
Here's the thing that like made the Forgotten Realms click a little bit better despite having run a campaign in it and played in several and watched movies and read novels and played a video game, is that on the map they took all of the nations and they just put them into regions. Like, hey,
Yeah.
what's over here? The old empires. What's over here? The arcade empires. What's over here? The lands of intrigue, right? And yeah, maybe some of the groupings don't perfectly work like this, but that's fine. It's just enough to be like, this is the general vibe over here. And if we want to talk about another thing that's done this, it was the Pathfinder Galarian second edition world guide, which did
Yes.
this nice grouping. Maybe they did it in their earlier world guide too. So maybe a benefit of the ever moving door of good Pathfinder employees getting hired by Wizard. We have Jason Tondro to thank me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what if we just grouped all these things so it's just easier for people to understand? Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. I understand it
Yes.
now.
It is very helpful to have them just sort of grouped like this.
Like, I knew the things on the left. And then when you got around that big blob in the middle, I got confused. And now I feel like I'm not confused.
Same. Yeah, this has definitely been helpful.
Yeah. And I think this is, I don't know, like if you were a game master, this is nice because it's not 400 pages. It's like 80 pages. So you can kind of read this and be like, what like really sounds like a fun 1 or 2 places to have my next campaign. But you shouldn't feel bad about like having your players read through this.
Yeah. This is, you know, when you're doing a Forgotten Realms campaign, a Faerun campaign, you know, you're gonna probably pick a region and people are gonna be from there. But this makes it really easy if your player is like, well, I'm a barbarian from the north. What do we know about that? And then you can just hand this to them and they can like read about the north and like, great, now you can be you know, a Rashamen, a berserker, and you have enough information to do that without me needing to dig into second edition or third edition materials to explain it to you.
Yeah. I really like the organization, which is just like at a glance, a long description, and then some interesting polities, localities, places, or things going on. It's a great way to do this sort of fast as possible gazetteer.
Yeah, this is really good because Wizards traditionally struggles with this. The right amount of information, just a little bit, just enough to work with, but not so little that like it's useless. This was, I was delighted by what we were given here for sure.
And, you know, some of the classics are back. Gilgamesh is, I can't remember if he was back before or they brought him back for this one. So you can be from that one place where Gilgamesh, not Gilgamesh, is your god king and he sucks. But he will fight Tiamat, and it sucks to live with Gilgamesh. Because, yeah, he's kind of an asshole, you know? He's a whiny, he gets sad.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Millhouse voice. It's Gilgamesh, and he's back in Pog form.
What else have we got, Matt?
Yeah, we've got a nice introduction to, of course, not all the gods of Faerun. However, if I had to pick a list, this would be pretty close to what my list is. And
it's a
also,
good list.
I'm not the biggest Forgotten Realms expert, so it's a better list than the one I would come up with.
I am a little confused, and Matt, maybe you can help me, because I try to stay abreast of current events in the Forgotten Realms. I try to keep up with my spell plagues and whatnot, and there are multiple gods on this list that I thought were dead, like didn't exist. Like it starts with Amonator, who I thought was like just straight up forgotten dead sun god, but it also has Baal and Bane and Merkel, and I'm like, well, aren't those guys dead? Like I know that they're dead 3 and they have devotees, but isn't the whole point that like they're worshiping dead gods? Like that's literally the like the point of it. Unclear, maybe doesn't matter, but I'm like, what have we had another?
Well, here's what I will I will read the
understand?
text that I think attempts to answer your question. To a deity's worshippers is immaterial whether the god is truly dead or merely dormant. The consequences for them are the same either way. Yet, as recent events have borne out, a god who has vanished might not remain absent forever. Supposedly, dead gods have returned and amassed a new body of worshippers, most notably in the Second Sundering, when several long presumed dead gods reappeared, or returned to life. So I think the idea is like, here are all the gods that are cool. You decide whether they're dead or not, or maybe slumbering or coming back. Either way, here's the information if you want to throw them in your campaign, which is like a maybe an unintentionally anti-canon stance that I approve of.
I guess like that's the thing is I'm used to Wizards having a very like strong opinion of their canon, so releasing their grip here kind of caught me by surprise. But yeah, I guess I like it. I guess I'm for it.
Yeah, is a Minotaur dead? Maybe. Is he back? Maybe. Maybe he's already back. Maybe he's gonna come back. It doesn't matter. I think it's like, hey, whatever works for your campaign. It doesn't exactly say that, but that's what I'm pretending it says.
Yeah, no, that works for me.
Because there are a lot of gods, even in this pared
There are
down
a
list.
lot of
we're
gods.
Like at like
it's a
40
good list.
gods.
It is a good list, a thorough list of gods. Yeah.
Yeah, is Baal dead or is he just sleeping? It doesn't matter. There are people worshiping him, so you decide.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, no, I like this god. Do you have a favorite Forgotten Realms deity?
Do I have a favorite Forgotten? Oh, this is a good question. I have always been a big fan of. There are a few of these I like. I do like a Minotaur. I became fond of him because he figures prominently in Baldur's Gate 2. But I think actually like this. I think this is a newer one, but I like the Red Knight. I think the Red Knight is a neat god. I don't know if it's actually new, but it wasn't in a lot of the settings. But I like
the Red Knight was a demigod before, and we've sort of gone away with those designations. I think probably for the best. You decide how powerful this god is.
How powerful they are.
Yeah,
but yeah. I like
war
the idea
gamer
of
in you is always.
That's right. I like the war gamer god. I'm a fan.
Yeah. All right. The next chapter is Aurora's Whole Realms catalog, and well, this one is just like a couple of things you could buy. Maybe doesn't even need to be a chapter.
This is kind of dumb. I shouldn't complain because it doesn't take up that much space. I'm just like, what's going on here? Who's Aurora? What is all this stuff? I don't know. It's fine.
I don't know. I think we need to know more about the Forgotten Realms to know who Aurora is. I know that she is a shopkeeper wearing a corset with huge tits.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think there's like, hey, here's some stuff from Kalimshan, some mechanical devices if you want those. Great place to put your artificers in this campaign.
Yeah, it's a list of things to buy, but not a very thorough one. Yeah, whatever.
Aurora was a former adventurer and the owner of Aurora's Emporium chain of stores from the mid to late 14th century DR. That's Dale Reckoning. And I guess this is run by her granddaughter, according to the tiny thing at the top. Anyway, so there's some minor magic items and mechanical devices. And then we're on to Magic of Faerun, where we get our favorite discussion of Spellfire. It's listen, Ed Greenwood came up with this before Robert Jordan came up with Balefire. It's different, though you can also just think of it as Balefire.
It's just Balefire. I'm curious about this because Mistra's always had this thing where she can give her what are they called? Her
chosen
like special super magic that's like and but it seems like in this book they're implying that it's I don't know, they got the Spellfire adept and some like Spellfire spells and like I don't know, they're trying to make it more of a thing. I don't have a strong opinion about that either way, but I'm curious like what the deal is with that, with having Spellfire
I think
be more
in
important.
The lore, like, yes, the chosen Mistra have it, but also there are people who can just like connect to the raw weave. Like, I think this was invented before the idea of a sorcerer class existed. And then the sorcerer class kind of like was like, well, they are just accessing raw magic, and so you kind of had to like make it fit into that. So making it a sorcerer subclass makes a lot of sense, but also like, hey, a lot of people, maybe a druid, can also just tap into this white magic goo sparkles.
Sparkle magic is what it is.
No, I like that they brought back the idea of like there's weird weave areas, put in an area of wild magic or dead magic or something like that. And yeah. There are some new spells. Nothing that was. Some of them are similar to ones that existed before. Most of them are very, very new. Most of them are fairly high level. And then we're on to Factions of the Realms.
Factions of the Realms.
Now, this is one that I was like, this is pretty similar to what was in the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, though in a nicer layout. And
nicer
like,
layout, a little bit more
easier
detail.
for players to digest.
I don't want to be like a hater here, but I've never been particularly enthused or interested in any of these factions, and they have not done a whole lot to change that for me. There are still lots of charts for Renown. I guess we're still doing Renown. I don't like Renown, but I guess we're stuck with it. And yeah, I don't know. It is a lot easier, I think, if your players want to be Harpers or involved with the Lord's Alliance or whatever than before. This is a really good resource for that. I don't find any of these factions particularly compelling.
I'll say that I like the Order of the Gauntlet. I like the Harpers because I feel like you can play them straight up as, hey, it's the good guys and they're spies, or you can play them as like they consider themselves the good guys. They're actually like a transnational CIA.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. The Harpers have always been great. I am a big fan of the Harpers. I am pretty so on most of these other ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, those are the factions. I think these are good write-ups. Perfect amount of detail for players, and I know it's goofy, Rob, but I love a attitude table where like what is every faction?
I did like the attitude table. Yeah. This was very helpful. You can go to the table and be like,
for like 10 minutes.
The Harpers hate these guys, but they love these guys. That actually is genuine. I know it's goofy. But I couldn't agree more. I like this. I like this is a chart of who likes who. I think that's very helpful, actually.
Yeah. And other than the great maps, that is the end of the book. I had some minor quibbles, like I saw some of the same art in this book as I saw in Heroes of the Borderlands. I was like, come on, but do new art.
Do new art, yeah.
But I would say, here's my quick take, which is if you want a less than 200 page book on the Forgotten Realms, then this is the best one you're ever gonna get. And that's nice. That's nice to have because a lot of people want to play in it, and it's an incredibly fucking dense campaign setting.
This is something that is kind of desperately needed, and so it is good that we have it. Wish that we'd had it before, but yeah, it is good. It is thorough. It somehow manages to cover most of what I want to see without being too long, which Wizards has never been very good at. This is a much better written and laid out and organized book than a lot of what they've put out in the last 5 to 6 years. So it is good. It is good.
Yeah. I guess my recommendation is if you want to run a campaign in the Forgotten Realms, absolutely get this book. If you've already been doing that for 20 years, you probably don't need it. But if you're like, hey, well, I've been running my own game, but I had a lot of fun and my players had a lot of fun playing Baldur's Gate 3, or they like the movie or the novels and they want to like do that, then I highly recommend this book. It even has suggestions like, hey, go check out Icewind Dale. We wrote a whole adventure there. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is very helpful, especially look for us grognards. It doesn't have a lot, but like if you and your players have only ever encountered this through like Baldur's Gate 3 or the movie or something, this is perfect. This will tell you just about everything you need to know to run a campaign, or for your players to know what they need to do to make characters in a Forgotten Realms campaign, which is, like Matt said, a pretty dense and complicated setting.
Yeah, I guess the distinction is this is enough for you to prepare a like group for the Forgotten Realms and for your players to prepare their characters. Is it enough for you to prepare a campaign that heavily draws on like the lore and locations? No, but that is what is promised to us in the next day of Wizardmas when we head over to Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, and I guess we'll find out whether that book is good.
That's right.
Tomorrow.
Stay tuned for another day of Wizardsmas and another Wizards book where we'll talk about the other half of this. As always, everybody, thanks for listening, and keep rolling them dice.
You better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice. You better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right.